What's going on, guys? It's O from Mount Confidence. Today, I want to talk about yoga, why I have started doing yoga, the benefits I've seen from yoga, just everything about yoga up until to this point, right? It's been around a year or so, a year or so since I've been introduced to yoga. My ex at the time was a yoga instructor, and we started to do, we went to a few classes at the beginning, and the first class that I took was a yin class. So it's one of those classes where you hold a stretch for like 2 to 5 minutes and you're just like sitting there. It's really relaxing. You're not flowing. You're not going from move to move. It's just like really, mellow and holding stretches. So the first class that I've ever done, I start weeping, like crying, like a little baby. I had to like do it in silence as much as to the best of my ability. I'm pretty sure like a few people heard me, but it's like I didn't even care at that point because the emotions were so strong that it just came out gushing. And I remember I was doing the pigeon pose, which is like when you extend one leg, and then you like lean on, you're stretching your outer. I'm horrible at explaining, so I did the pigeon pose, and that was just like all the emotion just came out gushing. So after the class, I felt so zenned out and so like in this state of love, in this like amazing state. My girl wasn't having it at the time. I think she was going through some stuff, and she was having a totally different experience. And but regardless of what happened afterwards, I just knew that this is something that I need to do more often. So I kept going to classes with my ex. We went, second class I went there, cried again. Third class, cried again. And I was only doing yin classes. I never messed around with power classes, flow classes, vinyasa, like never done any of those stuff, right? It was just all yin. I loved it, right? And so that's where my journey began of yoga. After breaking up with my ex at the time, I decided that I need to do something different in my lifestyle. And that's when I started shifting away from bodybuilding and doing lots of soft practices. I actually stopped bodybuilding for a very long time and just done, for a few months, just soft practices. No weights, like barely any weights. And then I kind of found the middle where now I'm doing both. But what yoga has done for me in the past year were many things. So among the things, the very first thing that I can, think on top of my head is that I no longer react to certain situations the way I have reacted to them in the past. So what that means is if, let's say I get into an argument or something that caused me to feel unpleasant, I no longer want to like step in an aggressive way and react in a way where I know I'm going to regret later on. It was like, I kind of still felt the emotion, but I'm like, interesting. Because in yoga, when I was holding these stretches, when I was holding these poses for minutes and I'm uncomfortable because my body's just not comfortable in these positions because I'm so tight everywhere from bodybuilding and all these emotions are stuck in my muscles, it's like, I need to cool down, I need to relax, I need to just watch the drama happen. Right? So that's the very first thing, is I was no longer overreactive. I was just kind of feeling what I'm feeling and just acting detached from the feelings that I was having. The second thing that yoga brought to me, that yoga changed so many different things about me by just changing one thing, was I was so much lighter. Like, I am so much more flexible, so much more mobile. When I dance, I move my whole body, my hips, my shoulders, places I never was able to freaking move because I was so tight, and it was all about the gains, dude. It was all about the being manly man and walking around with ILS, imaginary lat syndrome. I was smooth and light, and I felt like a girl. It was amazing. The third thing about yoga that really, played a huge part in this version that you see on camera was the fact that it brought me deeper to my roots, to my authenticity, to what I desire, to what I thought, to what I acted, to how I behaved, to that everything about my life was like, it was no longer habitual. It was no longer based on habits. It was more like I would sit down like, wait, why am I doing this? I don't even like this. This doesn't make sense. Why am I doing this? I'm like, this is because I used to do it all the time back in the day. Because that's what, that's something that I either had to do or something that made me feel good at that time. But I never realized that this is a different time. This is a different person. I'm no longer Osama a year ago. I'm no longer Osama last week. I am Osama now, right? How am I feeling? So it really changed how my thought process was formed, if that makes any sense. It's like the way I was thinking was different. And there's no wonder why the East, in the East, in China and India and all these, places, they're preaching, like this is their life. Yoga is their life. And it makes so much sense because it's not just not just a matter of getting into these poses and getting a sweat on, burning calories and feeling flexible, but it's like that really translates to your mind up here. So if your body's flexible, your physical body, your muscles, you're loose, guess what? Your mind's gonna be loose. It's gonna be open-minded, right? It's gonna be, relaxed. It's gonna, just kind of get into this observer point of view where you're just observing your thoughts and your emotions rather than being attached to them and holding your identity based on those thoughts and your emotions. The other thing that yoga has brought into my life was it introduced me to sound healing. So whenever I would have an emotion that comes up in a class, it's usually triggered by two things: the pose that I'm in, and two, the sound that I'm listening to. So if the instructor is, let's say, singing, or she has like this, a song that really kind of just makes me want to puke out all those emotions, it's like it's like I implement this in my own personal practice, my own personal rituals. It's like sound healing is something that I always use now. If I'm feeling something, I put on certain music that I know will get me to feel those emotions a lot better, and that usually just, I cry it out, I scream it out, I punch it out, I do something to release this energy that's stuck, which is just an emotion caused by thoughts and experience, and then I'm like, once again, I'm an upgraded version of Osama, because obviously when you have all these emotions suppressed and really in you, you're not operating at your 100% true self. You're not operating your true self, if that makes any sense. Because when these emotions and thoughts, you're being clouded over not just your body but your mind, your decisions and your thinking and all these things happen because of an environment that you're in. So by doing sound healing, we get you to experience all these emotions. You like reset the whole system, not just your mind but your body. You're reset and you feel brand new and you feel light and you feel amazing, and you no longer feel anxious or depressed. The last thing that yoga has brought into my life is it allowed me to really get to know my weak sides, not just physically. So when we're talking physically, I realized that my balance was so off, man. Like I couldn't balance on one foot. I couldn't, I couldn't get into these areas that now I can. So that was one part. The other part was mentally. It's like I was able to freaking catch my inner critic every time it speaks. So every time that negative noise, that negative self-blaming, self-judgmental, like little voice that tries to sabotage your life, it's like I catch him like, no, you motherfucker, you ain't ruling me right now. I recognize you, right? And it's like that's created because when you're doing all these, you're getting into these postures and you're focusing on your breath, essentially, it's like you're watching the drama happen, by, feeling like this is a huge struggle for you, and like you're about to fall and you're stressed out and you're gonna feel embarrassed in front of these people, to just kind of watching the drama and just like being in that pose and then focusing on your breath, but like not reacting to it. Like you're still, it's almost like it forces you to concentrate and to stay focused on your body, on your breath. And it's amazing because that skill is essential. If you don't have this skill, like when I never had that skill to begin with, like anything small that happens in my life would just cause me to snap, would cause me to collapse, would cause me to just be done. And so yoga has been a truly inspiring, life-changing thing that I've enrolled in. I used to do it every single day. I no longer do it every single day. I do it, 2 to 3 times a week because I like to do my own stretching. I like to do my own yoga. I've learned lots from the studio, but I still like to do the classes because the classes, it forces you to kind of go, push a little bit more than your boundary to, better your flexibility, to better your balance, to better your breathing. You also learn. It's different when you're doing it with a group of people. The energies unite and it's a lot more concentrated. It's like you almost like, there are days where I get high off of being around those, beautiful people because they're coming in. We all have, look man, we're human beings. We have like similar problems. We're just gonna fucking stretch. We're gonna get into these poses. No judgments, just, we're gonna be, and we're just gonna be, right? So it's beautiful. I'm naturally the kind of person that likes to do things alone. Not all the time, but I have my days. And so this is the reason why I do yoga on my own as well. But I mean, I still enroll in groups and it's beautiful. So if you're planning on, starting yoga or just why the hell am I doing yoga? I hope this video has been helpful. Please give the video a thumbs up to support the channel, to help your bro grow, and comment below, let me know your experience with yoga. If you're planning on starting yoga, I'll try to help you as much as I can. I mean, I've only been doing this for a year, so I'm not a beginner, but I'm also not an expert at this, but I'll try my best. Click that subscribe button if you haven't done so. Got tons of videos, tons of projects coming up soon. From Mount Confidence, out.